Hello, my name is Cuzix, and I will be showing you me surviving 1 month in permanent winter without ever entering any buildings, so no shacks, no houses, no cabins, no warehouses, no cargo containers, nothing like that. I set myself this challenge. However, at first, it didn't have the endless winter part to it. In fact, at first, I did this challenge with just on normal APOC difficulty, and it was completely trivial. The strategy here was pretty simple. You would just go to whatever car you could find, loot everything from that car, because cars have the best loot of anything that you can find outside. And then you just basically beeline it to the isolated cabin in the woods, and you just basically forage for food and you drink water. And I recorded that, and I was like, wow, that is freaking boring. So I decided to say, okay, well, let's up the difficulty. Let's add Endless Winter. Endless Winter also takes place in 6 months after. The thing with 6 months after is A, there's less loot. B, there's way more zombies. We also have the fact that it is going to be winter in 3 days. So in 3 days, the snow will come down and we will be cold all the time. It's going to go down to like 0 degrees Fahrenheit. So we start this challenge out, and I at first struggled with this. I was getting just killed by everything, dude. Like, I couldn't find food. I was like failing to find food. I was getting just absolutely just decimated by the zombies, because like you can't even find a weapon, and there's like 80 zombies just like right outside your front door when you spawn in on 6 months after, and it's like, what in the hell is this? So I was just getting killed left, right, and center. And it took me, and I tried so many different variations. I got pretty far on some, but like I'd run out of gas, and then I'd just like be freezing to death, and I'd get out of the car and get maimed by 80 zombies, or like, I just couldn't find food at all. So then I would try to do a bunch of different things, and basically none of it worked. Everything I tried, it would always result in me getting killed. I think in theory you could do it. There are ways that you could do it from that perspective. However, I found a better way to do it. And the way that I found to do it is actually so easy that it requires almost no skill whatsoever. So the first thing that you're going to do on this challenge is pretty simple. You're going to go outside and you're going to find some clothing, because I considered it cheating to take any of the stuff that you spawn with outside with you. So I basically would go and kill some zombies and find some freebie stuff. After that, normally there's one car that spawns in the same housing area that you do in the winter in permanent winter. So permanent winter, you always have the same spawn point. Normally there's about one car-ish that spawns in that little area. Basically, all you're going to do is that you're going to go over to that car, you're going to try to loot it. It might have some good stuff. For example, in this playthrough, I got the golf bag, which is great because it gave me a lot more storage space. And at that point, what I did was I just simply walked. I walked basically straight north, and I was looking for food. Because really at the end of the day, right, my biggest goal is to get as much food as possible before winter sets in. And I just kind of wandered, found my food, and I went to the isolated cabin in the woods. And the isolated cabin in the woods, for those of you who don't know, one of the best things about it is that it has a well, which is a stable source of water. Hypothermia is not actually something that you really need to worry about. And the reason that hypothermia is not something you need to worry about is hypothermia is only a concern if you're fighting zombies. If you're not fighting zombies, there's no need to worry about it. And 6 months after has urban spawn conditions for zombies, which means that zombies spawn in the urban area, and it takes them a very, very long time to slowly move out into the wild. And because it takes so long, normally you're only going to see 1, maybe 2 zombies, and you're going to just absolutely beat the crap out of them. They're not that big of a deal, even if you only do have, like I said, 1 HP. It comes down to the PvZ versus PvE concept of Zomboid. There are certain moodles in this game that are all about player versus zombie, and there are certain traits that are all about player versus the environment. So the environmental ones that matter, okay, are sickness, food, and water. Okay? Everything else is a PvZ trait. Okay? So, basically, if you go out into the wild, and this is why going out in the wild is so overpowered, is you completely rule out the majority of the moodles in the game, or your stats. So, for example, for this challenge, my character will never sleep. There's no need to sleep. What am I going to use endurance for? What am I sprinting towards? Right? So I'm never going to sleep because I don't need to, and I never need to get more endurance, so I'm never going to rest. I am never going to not be fully hypothermic, and I'm always going to be at 1% hit points for this entire challenge. Then what you're going to do is, okay, now that you're in the isolated cabin in the woods, is you're going to go around and you're just going to forage everything. Pretty simple, right? You want to get as much food as possible because you have isolated the core things you need to survive for 1 month, which is food, water, and not getting sick. And to not get sick, all you need to do is take the herbalist trait. It's really expensive. I would not recommend in a normal playthrough taking it. The problem is that for this challenge, it's just so hard to find the magazine that you're just better off just taking the trait. Especially when you are basically going to say, I'm not doing any PvZ content, you can take some really nasty, terrible traits for yourself. So, after you've done that, okay, after 3 days, winter will set in. But it's not actually winter. And this is the part that got me, because I didn't understand this until I went to the wiki. As I was looking for options to get food for the full 1 month duration in the winter, I realized that the challenge of Endless Winter it's not actually winter. You see, Zomboid considers winter to be December, January, and February. And if you read the start of the challenge, when you select it, it specifically says middle of July, which means that it's not winter. Even though even though you're sitting in a blizzard, you can still forage the entire time, making this challenge one of the most trivial challenges ever. So all you're gonna do basically is get enough clothing to walk over to the isolated cabin in the woods. You're gonna sit there and you're gonna forage the entire time, drink water, and then basically just speed up time. That is the entirety of the playthrough. I mean, I spent weeks trying to make some crazy thing work or something like that, and just everything failed. No matter what I did, I was just getting my ass just beat left, right, and sideways. And all I had to do was literally just borderline AFK. At a certain point with this challenge, I was literally sitting there watching YouTube while I just waited for my character to get hungry again so I could go get more mushrooms. That became the gameplay loop. It was dreadfully boring. I was like, what is this? So, I don't think it is intended for the Endless Winter Challenge to be able to just be basically bypassed completely. Because you can ignore the weather. You can ignore the effects of winter entirely until it is winter, which is in 4 months, right? You can basically ignore every mechanic in the entire challenge, making it identical to the previous challenge of simply doing it in an APOC difficulty, except there's more zombies at the start. There is no other difference. So overall on the challenge, the challenge rating difficulty, once you've figured it out, I would rate it a 0, because literally anyone with a pulse, if you can watch your health bar and eat when that health bar goes down, and you can walk around in circles and look for food, you can easily do this challenge. It is pitiful. Who would I recommend this challenge to? For those of you who want to do this challenge, I would only recommend this challenge for people who want to simply just flex on their friends and be like, look what I did, and then they don't understand why it was so stupidly easy, but it looks cool. It's the same reason why you probably clicked on this video. You're like, wow, this is probably gonna be something really hard and crazy. No, it's literally the most basic, go forage and find food. That's it. Congratulations, there's your solution. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I've been Curzix. If you liked the video, please subscribe And if you want to see more challenges and you want to see me freak out on live, you can watch me at twitch.tv/Curzix. Right now I'm doing a conveyor beltless Factorio challenge.